3, 2, 1.
You ready?
Listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We are the Real Pineapple. This is Hunter, and we've got the whole crew here tonight. I'm here with Scott, world traveler. Scott, how you doing, sir?
I'm excellent, Hunter. Thank you for that just warming introduction. I haven't traveled the world. I went to the South, which is a new and exciting and strange place, but thank you for welcoming me back. That was very nice.
Oh, so you basically went to another country. That's so cool. And then I'm here with...
Yes.
And I'm here with Colin. Colin, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm glad that we came together for this recording because of just the exquisite movie that we're here to review. This is what an occasion. What an occasion.
So Scott's gonna have a lot that he's gonna have to do for his worst of because he missed this one. You're in school. You're going back to school, buddy. We get it. But
sorry, I missed this one, guys.
Yeah, are you though? We're talking about Show Dogs, which I remember there was that big controversy about it because what was it, like the dog, like animal abuse, or they showed like the dog.
There's something about when they like spade and neuter them or something like that, right?
Yeah, like it was something like.
Yeah, we saw the edited version. That's right.
Yeah.
They changed this movie because it originally had what some female blogger wrote as called grooming, where she was like, this movie is teaching kids to let pedophiles touch their penises. Because that's what part of the storyline was. That one of the dogs in the show was like, oh, they have to examine your junk? Like, I don't want that. And he's like, come on, man. That's just what happens. You just got to go with the flow.
Does that still happen? Is that a deleted scene?
No, I don't know. Well, I would love to see that scene, but I don't believe that was in it. Was it, Hunter?
It was not, no. Yeah. But I went really okay. And dude, people on my, friends of mine on Facebook were like, what? I can't believe they did this. I went, okay, I don't get it, to be totally honest. I guess it was something about genital touching. That's what CNN is telling me here, at least. And yeah, that we don't want kids having that message, I guess.
I think they're really missing the bigger picture of this movie. Is that what we're focusing on right now? Is that part of this? What I could only assume is a dumpster fire, just based off of the short minute 30 preview that I saw.
So I gotta be honest, man. So we've and I'm actually gonna record probably 3 or 4 reviews tonight here. Black Klansman, the Crazy Rich Asians. There's been a lot of good shit that's come out recently, which is nice because it felt like there was just this gap of just poo, like Hotel Transylvania and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which I was just like, damn, this summer is just not cutting it. And, then all these good movies came out. And then I went to Redbox because I went, I'm going to review something. And Show Dogs was there, and I went, okay, I forgot Will Arnett was in this. I guess it's between recording for BoJack, and he just went, I want a new deck on my house. Why not? And, Show Dogs, I get to team up with Ludacris, who's playing a dog.
I definitely did not know Ludacris was in this.
I had no idea Ludacris was in this. And, look, I guess they're not starting on another Fast and Furious movie for a year or two, so, whatever. You're like, sure, I'll play a dog. So I will say this isn't as bad as something like Norman and North, or Monster Trucks, where I just went, I kind of want everything to end. But to say that this movie should not exist would be generous, because there's no reason for you to watch this at any point in your life. Colin, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the story is bananas. I mean,
Dog.
Why not? So since I haven't heard it, why don't you give me a little insider as to what's happening with this plot?
Go ahead,
Okay.
Colin.
Okay, so I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like half watching the start of this, but like I was dumbfounded when I was like, so I didn't understand like I don't know what universe like this is taking place in, but in this universe apparently like Rottweilers are cops. So
Sorry.
Ludacris plays a Rottweiler, and he's just like on the police force in New York, and his buddy is Will Arnett, and Will Arnett's like always like, you know, they're just like, you know, odd couple, like, you know, like Will Arnett's like, you know, I'm kind of a sloppy cop, and you know, Ludacris is like, I'm a dog, and
So let's let the people know this is a talking dog show, right?
Yes.
The dogs are talking.
yeah, he fully speaks English, but then on the other hand, I don't think all dogs speak English. Like I think a lot of
No.
dogs are just dogs.
It's really inconsistent.
Yeah,
Is this like a Dr. Dolittle thing where he's the only person that can hear dogs, or are they talking to everybody?
dude,
So
you are
that's
asking
the-
such great questions. I have no
So
idea.
that's the thing. Like, they kind of go, like, maybe some humans can understand dogs, but they don't acknowledge it directly. So
Yeah.
there's
That's
point-
not the point.
So
They're
there's
talking
point-
dogs.
So there's a point where Max will say something to Will Arnett's character, and he kind of goes like, "What is it, boy?" And then he'll say something again, and then he knows exactly what he meant without him saying it. And wait, so can he? It's like that joke on Family Guy from the first couple seasons, like, can they understand Stewie or not? But it's not funny here. Like, they just kind of go, the dogs are understood for when it needs to service the plot. That's the best way I can put it. And this plot, oh man. So you said you were half paying attention, dude. Okay, so I had a Monster, which I never have energy drinks. I was looking at the screen so intensely, like, okay, I'm gonna pay really close attention to this. And I'll be honest with you guys, I can't even begin to express how just confusing this movie is for such a simple plot. So there's a panda that's smuggled into the country. And basically the panda is going to be sold to like the highest bidder at this dog show, like kind of like the ripoff of Westminster Dog Show. But it's one panda, keep in mind. It's not like a ring of pandas, it's one fucking panda. And so this one panda apparently warrants the FBI coming in. And I just went, alright, one panda. You're like,
Can the panda talk?
No, the panda doesn't talk at all.
the
The
panda's
panda
just like running around, like trying to be cute, like falling off trees and stuff.
So what? Tell me what kind of like dog talking this is. Is it a CG dog that they created, or is this
Yeah.
like an actual dog that they superimpose like a mouth over?
It's a real dog.
It's a real dog.
Yeah,
but
it'll be a real dog, and then it's like the dog, like the Rottweiler will be like slobbering, and you're like, oh, that's clearly just a regular dog. And then all of a sudden, like the CG will kick in, and it's like the most obvious. Like all of a sudden, it starts like having all these mouth movements, and like the way they like match up like the voiceover to the dog isn't terrible. All of the voice actors, on the other hand, are very terrible.
yeah. So Ludacris is basically reading this like he's reading lyrics when he's rapping.
Yeah.
Like there's like no inflectation or if that's the right word. In fact, yeah, it's the right inflectation. There's no change in tone when he's reading lines. He just kind of goes, "Oh, like what? I can't even do a Ludacris, but whatever." Like he's like, I'll try to, but fuck it. He just goes, "Whoa, oh, that panda's over there. I made a promise to this panda, and I intend to keep it." So there's a line really early on that Max, Ludacris's dog character, is chasing this guy who helped smuggle the panda in, right? And so the guy hops a fence, and he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do, dog? You can't hop a fence." And Ludacris's Max says, and I quote, "You play defense, I play open fence." And I went, Jesus Christ on the cross, it's a horrible line. Like,
Yeah, there's a bunch of terrible like wordplay.
no, and I just looked at the screen and I went, fuck, that's not good. Like that, and that's 5 minutes in. I went, oh man.
Hunter, did
okay,
you see this
it's-
in the theater?
No, I red boxed this. Like,
Okay.
and So usually I'll let a Redbox sit a day or two. I took this shit back going into work the next day. I was like, I am not paying more than a day for this. I'm like, you are going back in this evil box where you belong, because yeah, man. And there's these 3 pigeons that are really poorly CG'd, and they're like wannabe cops. They want to be,
So
like,
they talk. So pigeons talk.
The pigeons talk. Okay. Yeah, and
they're like the peanut gallery, like sitting up, like cracking jokes, like a bunch of wise guys pigeons. Right?
No, that sounds good. I could buy into some of that.
And okay, so to get back to that point, I was just thinking, like, how Hunter, how you were saying, you're like, you can't really tell, like, kind of how, like, Stewie, like, if they can understand or not. Like,
yeah.
Wasn't, like, the police chief or, like, the head of the FBI or whatever, like, wasn't he a dog, like, giving Will Arnett orders?
So like,
like, clearly somewhere in the universe, like, dogs have authority
like
over
bodies.
humans.
So there's a police chief that has, like, the police chief of dogs as his pet, and so he'll, like, scratch the dog's belly, and the dog's like, and, like, the dog is, like, freaking out and is, like, really happy it's getting belly scratches. But then he's talking to Max at the same time, like, all right, you're on this case. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is happening? Like, the movie is all over the place, and it felt like Clockwork Orange. Me watching it, I'm like, okay, I know this can't be as complicated as a movie's making out to be, but it's so inconsistent on what it wants to do, and the amount of people they got for the voice cast is shocking to me. I mean, not shocking to an extent, because I'm sure they were just like, this is the easiest check I'll probably ever make. So
easy money.
So okay, let me just read some of the people they have. So they have RuPaul, Gabriel Iglesias, Stanley Tucci voices a dog in this fucking movie, Shaquille O'Neal.
He was my favorite character, by the way.
Yeah, not surprised. Alan Cumming is in this. Jordan Sparks, Anders from fucking Workaholics is in this. Blake from Workaholics is in this. I'm like, who?
Natasha Lyon, she's in Orange Is the New Black.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Yeah, Natasha Leon.
Yeah, and she's not a voice. She's like the love interest of Will Arnett. Yeah, she's actually in this.
So I'm gonna say something a little controversial. I didn't mind her in this. Like, she wasn't good, but
I thought she was. I thought she was phoning it in big time.
I thought she was kind of trying, like, for the first half.
Let's be real here. Like, how good what's your ceiling as an actor in this movie?
That's what I mean. I didn't even blame her. I was like, oh, I know she's a good actress, but, like, I felt like there was one scene where it was, like, back and forth with Will Arnett, and Will Arnett is 1,000,000% phoning this in.
Oh yeah! Oh my god!
That makes me sad.
Yeah, but there's a back and forth, and maybe it was just because it was actually just like them in a long like back and forth that she was just like, oh, I don't care. Like, Will Arnett's not even trying at this point. But I thought I was just like watching. I was just like, oh man, they really don't care. But I mean, the target audience is probably 5-year-olds. So like, who do they care?
You can see Will Arnett spinning the check in his head. Like, in between scenes where he's just like, all right, come on, Max, let's go. Yeah. All right, diamond toilet seat. Okay, cool, let's go. It's a really bad film, and so they go to this Westminster Dog Show ripoff, essentially.
And
so
I don't know why they. Can you explain to me why they went there to find like the panda auction? Like, what did that have to do with the dog show to begin with?
So you would think that these smugglers would just sell the pandas or whatever they're smuggling in, but they're using the dog show as a front, which doesn't really make any sense. I went, all right, cool. I
couldn't put it together. I was like, I don't know the correlation between the two.
No, there is none. You're giving this movie way too much credit. There's no correlation.
I was just trying to make sense of it, and I was like, I'm not really paying attention. Maybe Hunter can answer this if I missed
No, because I thought the same thing. It felt like an excuse. You know what it felt like? It felt like they went, like Vegas went, hey, you can go to some of our lower end casinos and we'll cover some of the production costs. And they're like, you just have to work us in somehow. Okay, can you host a dog show? Hell yeah, we can. Cool, we'll write that in. But it doesn't make sense. Shut up, you. And like whoever that one person was who had any common sense. Going through the movie though, man, Scott, especially me and you, like as far as when we do our reviews by ourselves, just two of us. I have seen worse. I really have, and I just think that stuff like I Feel Pretty and Acrimony and Life of the Party is still fresh enough in my mind that I went. It's not on that level where I want to just just drink myself to sleep, but. For your kids, though, your kids deserve better than this. There's no reason to ever show them this. That I will say, too, you're going to give me shit for this, and that's fine. I thought that panel was adorable. That was the one, and it's a total ploy, because, the panel's like, oh, I'm climbing something. Oh, I fell. It's like...
this entire movie...
You always think pandas are cute.
I do!
This entire movie is a ploy. It's a play on people's love of dogs, right? I feel like that is this movie.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that's why people reacted so passionately.
Just like a bunch of dog humor.
Like,
oh, you have a dog? Did your dog do this? Look at him do it while he's speaking English.
Yeah.
Remember when you take it to the vet and it doesn't like it? Or like when you try to cut its balls off and it's like, no, that sucks. No thanks, I want those.
Yep. So there's a point where Max, Ludacris's CG dog, is trying to get to one of the bad guys, and the dog looks in the camera and goes, "Oh, that is Ludacris." I went, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
Yeah, there's all these really random ass moments where that they definitely don't give a shit. There's a part they left in with Shaq's character at the end where he's he lost or something. He's like, "I don't care. I didn't really lose because." He's like I have 5 rings. I'm a 3-time MVP, and he just starts naming off all his NBA stats from his career. He's like future Hall of Fame or whatever, or Hall of Fame. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, I'll be honest, stuff like that made me perk up a little because I went, all right, you guys aren't caring. It felt like this.
That made me like the movie more. I agree.
Yeah, because the movie at a point, in the one dog that RuPaul voices, it's very obvious it's RuPaul because the dog is very flamboyant. I went, oh, that's RuPaul. Even if I didn't have a cast list, I would have put money on the fact that that's RuPaul, and. So some of that works, kinda. I mean, the dialogue's not good, but I went, oh, okay, that's kind of amusing. But
the part with Shaq that I liked was I can just imagine a parent watching with their little kid, and the little kid's just I didn't get that part. And he's like, yeah, I mean, the dog is actually an NBA player that played in the 2000s. Don't worry about it.
No, this movie is random as hell, and the thing is, the movie it just doesn't give a fuck. And at the end of the movie, I didn't give a fuck. I went, all right, fine, whatever. I think about something like Norm of the North, where I just was so incredibly angry, or something like Planet 51, or Acrimony, as I mentioned, or.
Do you feel like if this caught you in a bad mood, you would really hate it?
Not really, because there's just not enough here to hate. I was just more annoyed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's way worse you could show your kids. Oh my god! Like when I think about a kids movie that just irritates me, I think about those Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, or that live action fucking Underdog movie they did, something like that, where I think your kids are gonna want to just end it all. But this was
little minor suicide there.
But my double meaning. But yeah, I mean, it's dumb. Trust me, this movie's so goddamn stupid, and I know we're dancing around the plot because there's really not a plot. It's like Turner and Hooch, but for dumbasses, basically. For dumbasses.
Well, I mean, I think you basically summed it up. It's just they're trying to find a panda, Wyatt's at a dog show, don't worry about it. And then,
some talking dogs, deal with it.
Talking dogs, and they're trying to find a panda.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I will say before I wrap up and give my final thoughts here. There is this scene where Max, early on, this maybe 5 minutes in, where his dog, who's helping the bad guys, is like, oh, Max, I'm coming for you, and he's like, what are you doing? He's like, play dead. He's like, no. He's like, oh, I'll show you how. And so this dog attacks Max, and Max basically pulls a Lion King and flips the dog using his legs into the water, and it's the worst CG I've seen maybe all year. I went, holy shit, that looks so fucking bad. Colin, do you remember that part where he like spins the dog on his like using his legs and it goes in the water and the pigeons go like 10 out of 10 or something like that?
That might have been what like past the part where I deemed this movie unwatchable and I skipped over a little bit.
Okay, fair enough.
But it sounds like I made the right decision.
Yeah, and then there's a point where him and Max's love interest, they're eating like a hot dog. And
I did see that.
The pigeons go, oh, he's late in the tramping her. I just went, oh my god, you were just not even trying. So, I mean, is this dumb? God almighty, yes, it's really dumb. But I just wasn't angry enough to hate it, I guess. Will it make my worst of? Probably not, because there's some movies coming out that I think, oh boy, you're not looking great. I'd give because it's even hard to grade, because I just didn't care. I was so indifferent to it, you know what I mean? I'll give it a D. D for dog and D for dumb. So there you go. So D for me. Colin, what you got?
Yeah, I like honestly, like if someone was like, hey, you watch a lot of movies, I got this kid, can you recommend a movie? I'd be like, watch not Show Dogs. Like, watch something with Disney attached because they typically care.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hate it. I thought like the fact that it was so stupid and at some points like so random and that it just did not care, like honestly kind of made me laugh because I could just think about like the director or the writers or whoever was in charge of editing all of this, for the final cut. They were just like, yeah, let's just do whatever. I don't think anybody's gonna watch this at this point anyway. We've gotten such bad publicity. So
those are the fun movies kind of to watch, I feel like, at a certain point when you realize that they just don't care, then it just like becomes fun.
Yeah, for sure. So in that sense, like, I mean, this could easily make my worst of. Like, we'll see what else comes out, but this is definitely like a horrible movie. But it was kind of funny in how much they didn't care. So, yeah, I can't give it the lowest grade. So I'll just go with Hunter, man. It's a D for dog and dumb as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, dude, I've already started working on my worst of list, and there's easily 5 movies I'm like, this is way worse than that. And it'll be one of those movies that I'm looking back through and I'm like, oh yeah, we did see Show Dogs. Like, I'll forget about this movie in 3 weeks.
Very forgettable movie, yeah.
But oh man, the funniest thing is Will Arnett. Like, Will Arnett is just like, I could not give less of a fuck to be here. Like, he was over it before he signed. Like, maybe he signed the contract off of like a line, like he's doing blow and he accidentally signed the contract. Like, his voice sounded like extra raspy too, and I was like, I bet you he was like hungover every day he was going. Oh, dude,
like just like chain smoking cigarettes, like all hoarse sounding.
It was like, all right, rolling, put the cigarette down. All right.
You know what? It almost felt like maybe BoJack Horseman got stopped for like a month. And he was like, oh, you want to make some money? He's like, sure. What do I have to do? Show Dogs. Well, okay.
Like there is the thing with actors where in show business where you're always kind of like looking for the next thing, and you kind of gotta sometimes take what you get. But he's gotten to the point where, do you have to take this? Like whose daughter or son are you trying to schmooze right now? Like, whose good side are you trying to get on to be in this movie? I don't see any upside rather than making a quick buck. And I feel like they probably didn't even... How do they have the budget to pay him very much for this? Like, I don't see any upside for someone like Will Arnett who's trying to star, and he's got so many TV shows that I feel like he's been a part of that. This surpasses this by, to the umpteenth percentage.
So the budget on Show Dogs was fucking nothing. It was $5.5 million.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
it made just in the U.S. it made $37 million.
No.
Yeah,
You know what that is? That's a success, and you
Yeah,
know what that,
it
and
is.
you know what that means.
a sequel.
Show Dogs 2.
Hell yes.
Show Dogs 2 Electric Boogaloo. it is a coming. The box office has gone to the dogs.
And that's the business. That's a success. This is a
Yep.
successful movie right here. You see what you've done, America? You see this? You see what we've become?
God, that makes me so
Shame
sad.
on all of you.
Dude,
So
we'll get
listeners, we love you.
Dude, we'll get a sequel in 3 years, man. You know it's a coming. They like fuck this time. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe the dogs eat some magic Alpo and they can fly this time around and they fight aliens or some shit. I don't know.
It's like Show Dogs 2. They've got a bone to pick with you. Last
Show Dogs 2 Bad to the Bone. There you go.
Oh, this makes me sad just coming up with these names because you know that there's a possibility it's gonna be just as dumb as what we're coming up with.
Well, what is funny is that the way that Max saves the panda, oh my god, you want to talk about some bad CG, and I was mid sip of my beer and I actually almost choked because Max jumps on this rope and the panda is still in a cage, right? And the cage is about to go into a propeller from the plane that's getting away from the bad guy, and Max basically kicks the cage into his paws, catches the cage, and does like a backflip and dodge the plane. I went, what the fuck am I watching? God, Show Dogs is the best, but yeah, D for them, but. Guys, I hope you haven't, but have you seen Show Dogs? Let us. God help you if you've seen this. If your kids want to watch this, put them in front of a fish tank. It'd be so much better than watching this. I think your kids would learn something watching Fish, not this movie. But let us know what you thought in the comments below. You can follow us on. You can go and like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can go ahead and follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music at The Real Pineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at
Newman the First.
And you can follow Colin on Twitter at
The Real O'Neill.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll have reviews up this next weekend. This weekend we're in Vegas, so we are off for weekends. But we'll be back next week with reviews for Won't You Be My Neighbor, and we're gonna get a review for Black Klansman. I definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah, I wanna see that.
Yeah, but guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.
Wow.